Welcome back to Accelerate, the podcast that's all about helping you zoom past your sales quotas and leave the competition dust. I'm your host, Sunny, and today we are diving into another game changing strategy that could be the difference between closing that big deal or watching it slip through your fingers. We are talking about mutual action plans or MAPs. In today's complex B2B landscape, it's more crucial than ever. Before we dive into this topic, let's quickly recap our last episode. We talked about the art of multi-threading in sales, the practice of engaging multiple stakeholders in your deals. We learned that in today's B2B landscape, the average deal involves 7 to 11 decision makers. Multi-threading is all about building relationships with each of these stakeholders to increase your chances of closing that deal. Now you might be wondering, how does this connect to today's topic of mutual action plans? Well, think of it this way. If multi-threading is about engaging all the players in your deal, maps are about giving those players a shared game plan. Together, these strategies create a powerful combination for navigating complex B2B sales. So, what exactly is a mutual action plan? Simply put, it's a collaborative roadmap that aligns both you and your buyer on the path to closing a deal. Gone are the days when you could rely on a vague timeline and a prayer. Let's consider a common scenario in B2B sales. You have been working on a deal for months, thinking everything is progressing smoothly. You have had great conversations with your main contact. But when time comes to finalize the deal, suddenly there are unexpected delays. New questions pop up from stakeholders you didn't even know were involved. The timeline you thought you were working towards turns out to be completely different from what your prospect had in mind. This is where a mutual action plan comes in. It's like a shared GPS for your deal, ensuring that both you and your prospect are navigating towards the same destination, on the same route, and at the same pace. With a map, you have a clear view of all the key players, critical milestones, and potential roadblocks. It transforms your deal from a hope for the best situation into a strategic collaborative journey. Now that we understand why maps are so crucial, let's talk about how to actually create and use them effectively. The first step, timing and positioning. Here is where a lot of salespeople go wrong. They either introduce mutual action plans too early, before the buyer sees value, or they treat it like a seller's tool rather than a collaborative effort. At Faster, we have developed a framework for introducing maps at just the right moment. Think of it like proposing marriage. You don't have to do it on the first date, but you also don't want to wait so long that your partner loses interest. The sweet spot for introducing a map is usually after you have established value and before you dive into deep evaluation. Here is a pro tip. When you introduce the map, position it as an evaluation process alignment. It's not about you closing the deal, it's about ensuring the buyer has all the information and the support they need to make a confident decision. Remember, it's mutual. You are not dictating, you are collaborating. Now let's talk about what goes into a great map. First, keep it simple. I've seen maps that look more complicated than a space shuttle control panel. Trust me, that's not what you want. A good map should be clear, concise, and focused on key milestones. Include things like, success criteria. What does successful outcome look like for the buyer? Key stakeholders. Who needs to be involved and when? Critical actions. What needs to happen to move the deal forward? Timelines. When do these things need to happen? Responsibilities. Who is doing what? And here's the kicker. Don't end your map at the signature. Extend it to include implementation and initial value realization. This shows you're committed to their success beyond just closing the deal. Now, let's talk about supercharging your map strategy with some cutting edge tech. In today's digital first world, of course, you don't want to bring a knife to a gunfight. Let me tell you about how Faster's features can supercharge your map strategy. Our platform offers a robust set of tools designed specifically for creating and managing maps, like Milestone creation. You can easily set up milestones with defined start and end dates. This gives you and your buyer a clear view of the major steps in the journey together. Action items. Under each milestone, you can add multiple actions and assign them to different individuals. This ensures everyone knows exactly what they're responsible for and when. Status tracking. We provide an at a glance view of your project's overall status right in the map's header. You will also see what the next upcoming milestone is, keeping everyone focused on the next step. Integrated communication. Our maps include a built in commenting system. Think of it as a dedicated chat feature for your deal. This allows all users engaged to send messages to each other, ask questions, provide updates without ever leaving the map. Real time updates. As actions are completed and milestones are reached, the map updates in real time. This means everyone involved always has the most current information at their fingertips. By leveraging these features, you're not just creating a static plan, you're fostering a dynamic, collaborative environment that keeps your deal moving forward. One of the game changers in map implementation is digital collaboration rooms. Think of it like a virtual war room for your deal. At Foster, we have seen these spaces work wonders for keeping everyone on the same page. Imagine a single hub where all your stakeholders can access the map, relevant content, ask questions, and collaborate on the deal. It's like having a 24/7 command center for your sale. But here is where it gets really interesting. Buyer intent analytics. This is like your sales question ball. Our buyer intent analytics at Foster tracks how each stakeholder interacts with their mutual action plan and other content in the digital sales room. Which steps are they focusing on? Are there areas they are revisiting frequently? This intel is real gold, folks. For instance, if you notice the IT director has been poring over security related specs, guess what? It's time to reschedule a deep dive on your data protection measures. If the CFO keeps coming back to the pricing milestones, it's time to have a frank discussion about budget. Another tech tool that's revolutionizing maps is automated reminders and updates. No more manually chasing people for updates or reminding them of upcoming deadlines. The system can do it for you, keeping the momentum going even when you are not actually pushing or in the room. Now, I can already hear you saying, but Sunny, what if my prospect doesn't want to use a map? Great question. Here's the thing. If a prospect is resistant to using a map, that's actually a red flag. It could indicate they're not serious about the deal or they are not organized in their buying process. Either way, it is valuable information. But don't throw in the towel just yet. If you are facing resistance, try this approach. Frame the map as a way to save them time and hassle. Say something like, I completely understand you're busy. This plan isn't about, adding work on your plate. It's about making sure we use your time efficiently and don't waste it on unnecessary steps. Would it be helpful if I share a draft of how we typically work with companies like yours to evaluate and implement our solution? Say something like this. But by positioning map as a benefit to them, you're more likely to get a buy-in. And they're still resistant, well, that tells you something more important about the deal's potential. Here is another pro tip. Use your map as a discovery tool. As you are building it together, you can uncover valuable information about their decision making process, potential roadblocks, and even competitors. For example, you might ask, based on your experience with similar projects, are there any steps we should add to ensure a smooth evaluation? This question could reveal insights about past challenges or competing solutions they're considering. Now, let's address some common challenges you might still face when implementing maps and how to overcome them. Number one, my prospect doesn't want to commit to a timeline. Well, sure. Start with a flexible high level plan. Explain that the map is not about locking them into dates, but about ensuring a smooth, efficient process. You can say something like, Let's outline the key steps we both see as necessary, and we can adjust the timing as we go. There is another one. The deal isn't progressing according to the map. Well, if that happens, use this as an opportunity for a constructive conversation. Reach out to your champion and say, hey, I noticed we are a bit behind on, let's say, security assessment. What obstacles are you facing? How can I help remove those barriers? Another challenge could be there are too many stakeholders to coordinate. Well, if that's the case, this is where you put multi-threading skills and they come in very handy. Identify a primary contact for the map and work with them to coordinate with others. You can also use Faster's digital sales room to keep everyone updated without overwhelming them with emails. Here's another one. The customer's priorities have changed mid-deal. What if that happens? Well, maps should be a living document. Schedule regular check-ins to review and adjust the map. If priorities shift, update the map to reflect these changes. Remember, the goal of map isn't to predict the future perfectly. It is to create a shared vision of success and a framework for collaboration. By addressing these challenges head on, you're demonstrating your value as a partner, not just as a vendor. Now, let's address some common mistakes people make with maps, treating them as static documents. Your map should be a living, breathing tool that evolves as the deal progresses. Don't just create it and forget it. Make it a habit to review and update regularly with your champion. This constant refinement serves two purposes. First, it keeps the plan relevant and accurate. Second, and perhaps more importantly, it gives you a reason to stay engaged with your prospect. Each review is an opportunity to reaffirm commitment, address new concerns, and maintain momentum. And here is a ninja move for you. Use your map to create a sense of urgency without being pushy. How? By timing the steps in your map to your prospect's business goals or critical dates. For example, if your prospect mentioned that they want to have a new system in place before their busy season, make sure your map reflects that timeline. Then, if the things start to slip, you can refer back to their goal as a reason to keep things moving. All right, superstars, let's bring it home. We have covered a lot of ground today, so let's do a quick recap. Number one, mutual action plans are no longer optional. In B2B sales, they are essential. Number two, introduce your map at the right time, after establishing value, before deep evaluation. Number three, keep it simple. Focus on key milestones and extend beyond just a signature. Number four, leverage technology like digital sales room and buyer intent analytics to supercharge your map effort. Number five, use your map as a discovery tool and a way to create urgency without being too pushy. Number six, remember, it's mutual. Collaborate. Don't dictate. Number seven, well, be prepared to address common challenges and keep your map flexible and up to date. Now, here is your homework. Once again, take one of your current deals and draft a map. Keep it simple. Focus on key milestones and then share it with your champion. Ask for their input and watch how it transforms your deal dynamics. And hey, if you want to learn more about how Faster can help you master the art of mutual action plans, head over to our website, fasterhq.com. We have got a treasure trove of resources waiting for you. Thanks for tuning in to Accelerate. In our next episode, we'll be diving into other game-changing strategies. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Until then, keep accelerating those deals. And remember, in sales as in life, the best journeys are the ones we plan together. Thanks for listening.